Hey everybody, welcome to Stampers Club today. I'm Karen Tralfa, and today I have a card that you're just going to love. We're going to be doing a little bit of monkey business. So, if we all want to know how to color in this cute little guy, we're going to switch around the camera and we will show you exactly how that's done. All right, so like I said, we're going to be playing with some monkeys today. The new little monkey stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set, so it's nice and easy to line things up. You guys are going to like that, right? And then, obviously, a really basic card. There's definitely coloring on this one, so we're going to be playing with some blends, and you'll get to learn how to do some coloring. But isn't he just adorable? I mean, who doesn't like swinging by to say hi, right? So let me show you how I made this. All right, so I started out with a piece of the, oh, it's not Granny Apple Green. It's one of the new colors. Of course, I'm forgetting them all, right? Lemon Lime Twist. Wow. I got to keep learning these new colors. You know, Stampin' Up! Had a color change, so sometimes it's like, okay, so what is it? All right, so this, again, I'm just going to fold it in half and use my bone folder to give it a nice crease. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. And again, you can, of course, grab your score tool here, or your cutting tool, and if you like to do it that way, you would score it at 4.25. Okay, so that way you could also do it that way if you're one of those girls that likes to have that nice, crisp, clean line. I'm a little quicker than that. I'm just not that fussy, I guess, right? I mean, I like things stepped up a notch, but it doesn't have to always be that way. And then I'm going to add in some blueberry bushel cardstock and some basic white cardstock, which I have already pre-cut with these deckled rectangle dies. I mean, these are like, you get all these nice little nesting dies. So you can do all kinds of shapes, frames with them, and it just has this nice little bit of a deckled edge, so you don't have just a plain rectangle. It gives you a little bit of a nice soft edge there. And of course, we're going to add that together there. But first, I'm going to do some stamping. All right, I'm going to grab my Memento black ink because we're going to be using blends. All right, so you're going to want to use Memento black because the blends are alcohol markers. And if you use a StazOn, which is an alcohol base, all you're going to do is muddy up your colors. All right, so I'm just going to kind of add my little tree branch across the top here. And then I'm going to get my monkey, okay, so that I can do some line up here, all right? So I'm going to kind of get my monkey, we'll get him in between these little branches here, okay? Right like that. Because, you know, lining up some of this stuff kind of can be a little bit tricky, right? Or it can appear to be. And then I'm going to come back in with my branch again. I suppose I should have some grid paper here, but I didn't. And I'm going to add this with that clear stamp. You can see where the edges are. And I'm just going to kind of line that up so that I can get it looking like my monkey is going to be jumping to this next branch. Of course, I got like ink on my table, right? Like, why would we do that? Then this stamp set also comes with these little teeny vines. And I'm going to start with the one that swings away. Okay, and I'm going to come down here. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to start with the other one. And I'm going to get it lined up from the branch, I am right. I am going to start with that one. I want it to go away from it first. And I'm going to just kind of get from the branch and kind of through his tail, right? And then I'm going to switch to the next one because I want it to kind of swing back. And I'm just going to line those back up with each other here. And they just kind of keep going. I'm going to switch back to this one. And line that back up just like that. All right. We just want this little trail here, right, of vines. That out of my way. And then the blends that I'm going to use, I'm going to start with the pecan pie, the light and the dark pecan pie. And I'm going to, I try, sometimes I start with light and sometimes I start with dark. it's just, what am I in the mood for today? And I'm just going to give this some dark edging along here. Just a little bit on the edge there. I'll do the same on the branch down here. I'll do my branches first. And then I'm going to switch back to the light. And you can use the brush end or the nub end like I just used. Either one works. And I'm just going to kind of fill in the blanks. And what's happening here is my light and my dark are blending together, hence why these are called blends. And and that way I have these little bit of dark linings kind of going through the branches, because branches aren't perfectly all the same color. That one needs to be softened. And the more you go over it, the more they blend together. This one I'm going to switch over. This branch is a little smaller, a little narrow down here for me. So I'm going to go back to the nub end so that I can go a little bit quicker for you. Sometimes that nub end is better when you're working in tighter spaces. The brush end is nice when you're working in larger spaces, which I can show you here. So I'm going to take my monkey and I'm going to get his tail going here. And I'm just drawing right through those branches because I want to be able to see my tail more than anything. And I'm just getting some ink on the paper here. Sometimes with alcohol markers, because what happens is that, once it dries, because they're alcohol, they dry a little faster, right? And then when you add in the NX color, it kind of almost reactivates, the ink. I'm not going to be super picky here. I'm just getting the paper kind of wet. And then I'm going to switch back to the dark. And I'm going to just kind of do my outline here a little bit. This will end up helping blend this in. We're going to get, some dark in his tail. Go around his face a little bit. And this doesn't have to be perfect either. We all colored as kids, right? Did we not? I'm going to come back in with my light pecan and kind of give him some shadows. If you work in little circles, it also kind of helps bring that in and soften that line edge that we created and gives him a little bit more highlights on his body there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on his head. Get those colors colored in. So those of you that like to color or have children that like to color, this is a great stamp set for you guys to be playing with your kids and grandkids with, because they all love monkeys. They are monkeys, right? How many of your kids climb walls? Got a niece that her boys, they literally, when I was at their house for a birthday party, they're twins, and they said that they were I asked them what they do what they do that makes mom upset, and they said, "Oh, we climb the walls." And I was like, "What? Climb the walls? How do you climb walls?" And they actually showed me. They actually would go in the hallway with their feet and legs on either side of the hallway and climb up the walls, which was absolutely insanely crazy. So I'm going to come back in with some crumb cake. I'm going to get his face just a little bit darker on the edges. With the dark crumb cake, and then the light crumb cake. And we're going to, that one's a little fuzzy. So we're going to just kind of blend in his face with the crumb cake. And when you do this, just kind of going in circles, you'll get that high and low along the edges. And if you pull in some of that pecan pie, that is okay too. It's not rocket science here. We're just being kids. We're being little monkeys. And let me get some on his ears there. And just kind of light darken his face up there a little bit. And that was crumb cake that I used. All right, and then I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green for my leaves. The Granny Apple Green was a nice combination of colors with the lemon lime twist. It's just a little bit darker than the lemon lime twist. And I'm just adding it to the center and the bottom edge of the leaf here. And I'll go ahead and do some of these little ones and just get them some color in them. So I kind of want like a variegated. So once I come back in with the lighter one, you'll see how that kind of variegates them. And again, I'm going to use the nub end here because it's such a small space that I'm using. I do not proclaim to be the best colorer in the world, especially on camera. I'm trying to go a little quicker for you so that you're not just watching me color stuff. Get those leaves around that monkey's tail. But this is a fun card to use for those youthful people. I'd love to know whether or not you have little monkeys at home. Feel free to comment below. Of course, you can always, hit the subscribe button, the like button, the little bell so that you know when I do other videos, because I do quite a few videos, and we can all, learn together, teach each other how to make cards. I love it when people share. Pop over onto my Facebook page. I just did a little challenge the other day where we actually shared each other's cards and what we've been making. I love to see what you guys are doing. It's always good to do, right? All right, so this I'm going to add to the blueberry bushel that I've already cut with that deckled rectangle. See how nice these kind of just like layer up with each other? I mean, and you just have that really, just that little bit of edge that gives you just that little bit of, I really thought about you when I was making this card. It kind of feels that way, doesn't it? And me, dimensionals, got to have dimensionals, guys. They are the cheapest way to wow up your card. They take it up just that little bit of notch, gives it a little bit of three-dimensional look into it. And people, when you give them these cards, when you give someone the card like this, they kind of just ooh and ah because they are not quite sure what they're visually looking at, but it makes them feel happy that you have this three-dimensional look that goes on here. People do like that, folks. They really, really do. All right, so now my greeting, just swinging by to say hi, is in blueberry bushel on some basic white cardstock. I got like shavings of like stuff in my ink pad here. There's like little bits of pieces of paper, it looks like. But I'm just going to get this. Well, I'm going to use some of this other paper here too, so I need a little piece of that. Because I am going to need to have this little banana right there, which I'm going to color in with some daffodil. I'm going to get some right on the line. We'll get some color shading there at the end. And the light. Ooh, I want to use the little end. Use the light one here. So this banana, we're going to cut out. But guess what? We are going to not cut it out. We are going to punch it out. Because if you didn't see the catalog yet, you will realize that this stamp set comes in a bundle with a punch, right? So of course the monkey that I did here isn't the shape of this punch. It's this little guy right here actually that punches out. But this is also like part of his face. So you could use the cute little closed eyes here, or you can punch out this part of his face too. So you can have some really cute little faces that go on, because each one of these do fit in the little punch here. But this banana I want to do, and of course I didn't stamp it in the right direction, so let's die cut first because I need that little piece off there. I'm going to die cut my greeting out of there. I don't know if you caught that when I showed you the card, but I did die cut that again with one of the shapes out of the Stylish Shapes die set. This is like a standard for me, this particular die set. If you haven't seen it yet, pop on over to my website at stampersclub.com and you can check it out there because I use these like all the time. And if you've used the mini, this is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. When you're using this, if you stagger these plates, it does go through the machine a little bit faster. It's a pretty tight fit, so I usually just kind of do a little bit of a stagger so that my plates are not 100% on top of each other. And that helps it so that when you're getting it into the machine, it just glides in a whole lot faster. All right, let's get that cut. Pop that out. Set that guy over there. My plates. Can you tell I use this a lot? Look at my plates. They're a mess. But I do die cut a lot. I'm sure you guys noticed that. If you check out my other videos, you're going to see that I die cut a lot. Kind of something I like to do. I like to do, basic, simple cards, but, I just like to find those little tiny simple ways that take it up a notch. As you notice, I turned the punch upside down. Little tip here, guys. Stamp first, punch second. And then when you use your punch upside down, you can line things up really, really easy. If I had done that stamping in the other side of the card, guess what? I wouldn't have had to die cut first, but that's okay. We did. So I'm going to need that little guy over there. But for my greeting, what I want to do is I want to overlap this just a little bit. Let's get some stuff there. I'm going to overlap. I want to kind of create a little bit, almost like a shadow. So I'm going to just kind of a little bit of a shadow so that I can hopefully get that straight. My eyes are not the best, and I do have astigmatism, which doesn't help matters. And of course, I'm not straight. There we go. Now I am. When you have eyesight issues, it's not always super great, right? So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put this on a dimensional also, except for I can't find them. As again, I like to have it so that you just have that little bit more of a bang for your buck with these. They're like, I don't know, a penny a piece. They're cheap. I'm going to just cover that here, right like that. I am letting that hang over. I'm going to leave it there forever. Of course not. I'm going to flip my card over. I'm actually going to open it up. And I'm going to trim this right along the edge of the card. Just snip that right off there. So it looks like it's just coming in from the edge a little bit. You get a little bit more texture. Again, see, you got just that little bit of pop. Some fun coloring. And of course, we have to have bananas to go with our monkey, right? And let me get one of these little mini dimensionals, because this guy's pretty small. And, he's swinging down on a branch. And what's he want to grab when he gets on that branch? A banana. Right? Isn't that cool? Isn't he fun? He's so fun to play with. This was like one of my first sets that I was like, oh, I have to have that one. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for some ribbon. Me? Not use ribbon? Oh, no. Yeah, no, I actually am not going to use ribbon on this card. Can you believe it? Like, ribbon's like my thing, right? All right, so I'm going to use these really cute little embellishments. They are called adhesive-backed solid gems. And they do, obviously, you can see I've been using these. So they do come in the pecan, boho blue, and the lemon lolly. And I'm going to take my pick tool and get one of these little lemon lollies, or these little lemon lolly ones. Now, this is a great tool because this flips around and you get this like cute little spatula so that you can pick up these little gems, get them picked up, and then lay it on your card. So we have one there. Let's get one here, and then let's get one of these little baby ones, right? Let's tuck it right in there. Just, me, I have to embellish. And they're like, come on, look how many you get in the package. How quick are they to use up? Like, just, grab some, play with it. And voila, we have one little monkey swinging on by just to say hi. I wonder who I should give this one to. Comment. I might just actually private message you and say, hey, would you want me to mail you this card? I'd love to know that. Let me switch over. Again, Karen Trolfa here. I want to thank you so much for visiting my video here. And feel free to, on the right-hand side to see some related ones. I'd love to see you continue watching some of the things on my channel. I have lots of variety of stamps sets that I use and different types of cards. Some are simple and some are taken up a little bit. And I do show you how to get a simple card just dressed up, just that little bit, just to make the person that you give it to feel all that more special. Have any questions? Feel free to message me. Pop on over to my blog at stampersclub.com or catch me over at Facebook at Stampers Club there too. And I'd love to become friends and chat with you. I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will be back another time with another great card and another great video. Bye now.